Welcome into OutKick, the show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. It's one of the best days of the year. I know they have the first four, but the eve of the Thursday, Friday NCAA tournament bracket busting, unbelievable weekend of hoops is about as good as it gets. I would argue that the NCAA tournament, Thursday, Friday, maybe the two best days of the year for American sports fans. The NCAA tournament, I think, gets worse as it extends, not the games, but just the sheer volume of awesomeness. We'll get into that in a bit. We're also going to be taping a special The Fade OutKick show with Kelly Stewart, our gambling compadre, who is going to be on with us right after we finish this. It'll be released before the tip of the games tomorrow. But I want to say right off the top, Prize Picks, best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million people signed up and playing billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to everyone, including people in Texas, California, Georgia. If you're feeling left out, you can get hooked up right now. Go to prizepicks.com. Use code OutKick. Just pick more or less on a variety of different plays, and you can win up to 100 times your money. And I've got a pick for you for the opening NCAA tournament action. Round one games here. Right now, if you go to prizepicks.com, you get a free square. If Johnny Broom scores 1 point or more, you are well on your way to having one of your 3 wins. And then I've got 2 more for you. This is an SEC Prize Picks special. Johnny Broom, obviously star of Auburn. Then I've got Walter Clayton Jr., Florida guard, who has been playing lights-out basketball. He's going to get up a bunch of threes. I think he's going to make more than 2.5 threes in that game, round one. And I also think Jordan Gainey of the University of Tennessee, who has been playing very well down the stretch run of the season, I think he's going to make more than 1.5 three-pointers. So again, more three-pointers made by Jordan Gainey, Walter Clayton Jr., and Johnny Broom to score 1 point free square. So one of these 3 you're going to win guaranteed. Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, SEC Spectacular Prize Picks pick. You will get that paid off at 4-1 if I am correct. NCAA tournament round one action. Go to prizepicks.com, use code OutKick. When you play $5, you get back $50. That is prizepicks.com, code OutKick, $5. You get back $50. Go get hooked up today. I want to give everybody out there a shout out who is going to be letting your kids watch the NCAA tournament on Thursday and Friday. Shout out to all the teachers out there. I don't know how often this happens now, but when I was a kid, some of the best, coolest memories that I have, they used to have the rolling televisions. Most classrooms did not have televisions. You had to check out the television and the VCR, and we would have cool teachers that would have the television set up, who were big sports fans like I was, and they would let us watch the NCAA tournament games as they were taking place when you were a kid and you were otherwise having to be in school on that Thursday, Friday. So shout out all the teachers out there that are going to be letting their kids watch the NCAA tournament action on Thursday and Friday. Listen to me. The kid's entire educational achievement is not going to collapse if you let them watch a little bit of college basketball. If anything, you can use it as an encouragement for them to go to college. Maybe the kids aren't paying a lot of attention in class, and you can tell them, hey, if you love sports, you should be paying attention to all these colleges out there. You know what? This is how I got exposed initially to a lot of different universities out there, was entirely through the college process. I really believe athletics are the front porch of a university. They help to draw in a lot of people. They're the way that they experience a university in general, and that's why I've always loved college sports. I love everything about the NCAA tournament, so I want to give a special shout-out to all the teachers out there that are going to be letting their kids watch on Thursday, Friday. Personal plea from me, do it. Let's have a little bit more fun in the world. Let your kids watch some games. Teachers of America, thank you for those who let me do it, and I hope you guys will have some fun on Thursday and Friday as well. Okay, we've got a bunch of different stories out here that I want to hit beyond the NCAA tournament. I've got my bracket right here. I'm going to fill it out again. We've got a special NCAA tournament-focused edition coming with Kelly Stewart here in just a few minutes. But I've got a bunch of different clips loaded and locked and ready to roll. This, by the way, final show for OutKick will be the gambling special next. But I'm not going to do OutKick shows on Thursday and Friday while the games are going on. I think you guys can well understand why that will be the case because you'll be watching like I'll be watching. I will be doing Clay and Buck, including Clay and Buck from our Washington, D.C. studio on Friday because I am going to be traveling on Air Force One with President Trump to the NCAA Wrestling Championships taking place in Philadelphia on Saturday. I cannot wait. I tweeted about it, but if you're just watching this and you haven't seen or heard about it yet, I'm excited to do that. Should have some cool content for OutKick and appreciate Caroline Leavitt and the Trump White House for reaching out and offering us that opportunity. All right. Tim Walz, let's play the Tim Walz telling everybody out there, hey, I could beat you up, basically, the average Trump voter. Tim Walz, a lesbian's idea of a man that will appeal to male voters. This is Tim Walz. Listen.
This
How do you
notion
fight it?
of, and well, this
I
notion
think
of
I can
tax.
kick most of their ass. I do that. I know I can run them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
I don't think this is true. I think if you eliminate women, Tim Walz is 60 years old. I am confident as a Trump voter that I could kick Tim Walz's ass. Now, I have 15 years on him, and I actually have testosterone, so that gives me a little bit of an advantage. He is definitely better at high leg kicks and spirit fingers than me. Timmy Walz. But I will tell you this. This is how desperate Democrats are, and I think they're going to continue to fail. The Democrat Party is the party of college-educated women. I'm going to talk about it in a moment. I'm legitimately writing a new book all about how the Democrat Party has lost male voters. And the data reflects overwhelmingly that this is true. And I want to hit you with this right now. I saw this shared by Steve Kornacki, who is an NBC News data analyst, rational, reasonable guy who just looks at data and tries to explain it. These are white voters, okay? There's a huge difference between white men who didn't go to college and white women who did go to college or grad school. But there's actually a huge difference between white women who went to college and every other white person in America, whether you white men went to college or white women who have no college degree. Let me explain. What is your personal opinion of Donald Trump? White men with no college degree, plus 41 on Donald Trump. That is, if you are a white man with no college degree, you love Trump. White men with college degrees also have a +1 breakdown in favor of Donald Trump. White women with no college degree, 14-point positive for Donald Trump. This is wild. White women with college degrees or grad degrees, -38 on Donald Trump. And this goes across the board. They hate J.D. Vance. They hate Elon Musk. They hate the Republican Party. They hate Doge. They hate trying to eliminate fraud and waste. They love Zelensky, and they love DEI. They stand out on their own in a way that is pretty staggering. What's going on here? Why are white women who go to college or grad school so much different than white men who go to college or grad school, but also white men and women who don't go to grad or college school at all? What is going on here? To me, I think what's happened is these women have been sold a bill of goods. And I think in a social media era, they are obsessed with abortion. And by and large, they're unable to think about anything else. They're also obsessed with BLM and men pretending to be women. They are being driven bonkers by toxic empathy. I believe if you overloaded this chart, you would also see that college-educated and grad school-educated women are the least happy people in America today, white women, because they are finding out that their girl power, girl boss world actually doesn't make them happier. I think this is the reality of what they're facing in their lives. And they are uniquely, I believe, susceptible to social media. That is, I don't know what anybody else says on social media. I tell you exactly what I think. Some people disagree, may shock you. Some people are mean to me online. It basically has no impact. I'm going to tell you what I think, good or ill. You can like me or not like me. It doesn't impact my life. I think a lot of women are competing to try to seem more empathetic because this is how they now get social cachet with other women. And again, I'm not an expert on this, but the data demands that there be some hypothesis. Why are white women so much different than other white people when it comes to the way they see the world? I think this is what it is. I think they are competing to be liked on social media by appearing to be left-wing and empathetic. I think a lot of them don't actually believe it. I think a lot of them are not particularly well-informed. And I think that toxic empathy is actually leading to them being much less happy. My TED Talk, get married, have kids, in the long run, you're probably going to end up being happier. I say in the long run because you might pick the wrong woman. And if you pick the wrong woman, you might end up like Alec Baldwin, recently dodging charges for committing a murder, manslaughter. He's married to someone named Hillary. Hillary is from Massachusetts. Okay, this has been going on for several years. I think it's one of the craziest things out there. Hillary is from Massachusetts. She has decided, despite having grown up and spent her entire life in Massachusetts, that her actual name is Hilaria, and that she now speaks with a Spanish accent because she's actually Spanish. Again, this is Hillary, who grew up in Massachusetts. This is her interview walking with Alec Baldwin. I want you to watch Alec Baldwin's soul be sucked out of his body in the midst of this interview. Watch.
The Ilaria show.
No. I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have it out there.
It's gonna be great.
This
You're
season.
a winner.
Oh my God! When I'm talking, you're not talking.
Sorry.
No, when I'm talking, you're not talking. This is why, yes, we'll have to just cut him out of the show. No, I think this is a really raw show, and it's very real, and we took a lot of chances. And I think that we'll see where it leads us. We'll see what it feels like to be out there, and we'll see, if people like it.
What an unbelievable bitch this woman is. I mean, it's hard for me to feel sorry for Alec Baldwin. But when I watch this clip, assuming that it's not some sort of work designed to go viral and get a lot of attention, which I don't think it is, because I don't think that you would want to put a clip out where both of you look awful as an intentional way to suddenly get attention on social media. I think this is representative of what their relationship is like. And my goodness, I actually, like I said, feel bad for Alec Baldwin. But I do think there are certain stories that just get swept under the rug, and we should take a step back and say, wait a minute, what's really going on here? Elizabeth Warren pretending to be Pocahontas, this chick, Native American, this chick pretending that she's from Spain, even though her name is Hillary and she grew up in Massachusetts. There are certain stories that are crazy. If I said it on Clay and Buck, if I came on with you on OutKick tomorrow and I said, hey, my name is Ricardo, and I started speaking in a Cuban accent because of my background, a lot of you would say, I don't know what happened to Clay Travis. Like, this feels really weird, the way that he's behaving all of a sudden. He's talking in a Cuban accent. He's pretending that his name is Ricardo instead of Richard Clay Travis. Like, what is actually taking place here? And I think a lot of you would justifiably say this guy has lost his mind. And I think this is what's happened with this crazy chick, Hillary Baldwin, who I think they have like 6 or 7 kids, whatever, good for them. But I cannot imagine living with her. Now, maybe Alec Baldwin is also awful. That would not shock me. He doesn't seem like he's particularly the most likable guy on the planet. But I do think the way this whole thing is shaken out is pretty crazy. So anyway, I wanted to share that clip with all of you. Mega bitch, Hilaria Baldwin, Hillary from Massachusetts. Sorry, Alec, you chose poorly. Let's go to this story that's out there. Tim Walz, the lesbian's idea of a man that man will like, was yesterday bragging about Tesla stock being down. Now, this is coming on the heels of all of these, what I think are quite clearly domestic terrorism incidents where Elon Musk's businesses are being attacked, the Tesla business in particular. Yesterday, interestingly, Elon Musk, through SpaceX, was able to bring back the astronauts that had been stranded in space for 8 months. They were supposed to go for 8 days. They landed in the Gulf of America, and they are in the process of recovering. I want to just kind of lay out for you what Elon Musk has done and why I believe he is the most successful capitalist in any of our lives. Okay, Elon initially got wealthy with PayPal. Made a couple $100 million, whatever it was. It's a lot of money to most people. It's no money to Elon. And he basically used that PayPal money as table stakes to try to build great new American companies. And he wasn't aiming for a relatively small success. He set his ambition at doing things that sounded unbelievable. First, he decided that he was going to try to found the first successful American-based car company in 100 years. A very difficult thing to do. We have not had, prior to Tesla, a successful American car company in 100 years. GM, Chrysler, Ford, all of those were founded over 100 years ago. And he didn't just decide to start a new car company. He decided that he was going to do it as an electric vehicle. So if you were committed to the idea that climate change is an existential threat to the country, to the world, no one from a capitalist perspective has done more to fight against climate change than Elon Musk when it comes to founding electric vehicles. Point one. Point two, that wasn't enough. He also decided that NASA was not doing enough to further space exploration, and so he decided he was going to start his own aeronautics company named SpaceX, and he was going to be better at sending rockets to space than NASA, despite the fact that NASA had a 70-some-odd year head start on him. And he's done it. Think about how crazy all of this is. He just returned the astronauts. NASA has lost the ability to safely send and retrieve astronauts from space. Elon Musk can do it at a fraction of the cost, and he's built a massive multi-hundred-billion-dollar business in the process. I believe SpaceX is now potentially the largest private corporation in the world. That is, you cannot buy stock in SpaceX on public markets, okay? Second thing he's done. Third thing he did. Well, he has the Boring Company, which is, my understanding, the best company at drilling holes so that you could have sub-underground roads and bunkers and everything else, and it would be able to move people way faster, okay? So he's got the Boring Company, which is also very successful and probably worth a lot of money. Then he decides, I'm going to buy Twitter. And he goes out and he buys Twitter for $44 billion. Today, there are reports that Twitter is now valued at $44 billion. That is the same amount that Elon paid for it, and he has doubled the overall profitability of the company in the process, okay? That's 4 pretty incredible things. Not content with that, after voting for Hillary Clinton in 2016 and voting for Joe Biden in 2020, Elon decided, you know what? America is at stake here. We are in danger of losing the incredible, unique aspects of American freedom, dynamic capitalism, because we now have $36 trillion in federal debt. And the federal debt, in conjunction with the entitlements, that is Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and now the interest on the federal debt, is strangling our ability to actually have an efficiently run government. So with all of the other things on his plate already, Tesla, SpaceX, Boring Company, Twitter X, and XAI, it is possible, I should mention this, possible that with Grok, that Elon Musk has actually built the best AI company in the world as well. That's probably worth now $100 billion. With all of that already underway, he decides, I'm going to go all in with President Trump. I'm going to spend as much time as I possibly can with a ton of super smart data scientists, and we are going to figure out a way to carve $1 trillion out of the federal budget so that we can try to work towards a balanced budget to avoid all sorts of stifling, incredibly significant, deleterious effect from our $36 trillion in debt. How is that treated? Not with Elon Musk being considered a national hero, but with left-wingers deciding that they now want to firebomb Teslas, and they want to destroy Elon Musk company such that Tim Walz is cheering the decline of the stock price. Now, again, I don't think Elon has said or done anything of a particularly controversial nature. All he's trying to do is save money for all of us out there, myself included, who are paying taxes and trying to build a more efficient federal government. And in the process, he's taking on an additional responsibility that, honestly, is a great example of noblesse oblige. He had no obligation or responsibility to do this. All of that leads me to saying, I actually respect all of this. Elon is the greatest American capitalist in my life. I want his companies to be as successful as possible. And as a result, I was talking with my wife yesterday. I think we're going to buy a Tesla. I'm not even a huge car guy. You guys heard me talking about Waymo and how impressed I was with it, but I'm not the kind of person who can tell you why this car is better than that one. I'm just not a super sophisticated car person in general. But I was impressed with Waymo. I'm told that Tesla's autonomous vehicle driving system is phenomenal. I've got teenage boys. Teenage boys are oftentimes not very safe drivers, both because they take too many risks and they haven't had enough experience behind the wheel. And so part of me is thinking, hey, maybe the best possible thing I could do is get my kids a Tesla that I would use as well, but that it might be a safe vehicle. Regardless, I'm telling you, the idea that Elon has somehow become an attackable individual based entirely, in my opinion, on having made super rational, super realistic, incredibly successful capitalistic decisions is absolutely bonkers. So, all of this out there, absolutely crazy as we break it down, but I would encourage you, if you believe in American capitalism, that you should consider going out and buying a Tesla, like I'm going to do. Second part of this, what is Democrat foundational belief now on the left wing in the country? It used to be all the time they would tell us climate change is an existential crisis. This is all I heard for years. Oh, the oceans are going to rise. It's going to overrun all of our beaches. And we, as a result, as a society, are going to collapse. We'll never survive climate change. Yet everything kind of seems like it's going pretty well. And the data actually reflects that a warming climate would lead to fewer deaths, even though nobody talks about it. More people die in extreme cold than extreme heat. And if you truly believe that climate change is an existential crisis, why in the world would you be rooting for Tesla to collapse? Elon Musk has done more to fight climate change than anyone in the history of the world. Until 2 years ago, Elon Musk was a left-wing hero. So my question for you is, what is actually the foundational belief of left-wingers? I think we're only left with one conclusion. Left-wingers now believe that Donald Trump is Hitler, and they are more concerned with being opposed to Trump on everything than they are with actually saving the planet. So emotion has taken over the emotional appeal of climate change, which is, I'm told all the time, an existential crisis, such that now an electric vehicle company, people are rooting for it to be destroyed, like Tim Walz and many other left-wingers. They're firebombing Teslas. They're keying them. Left-wingers are. Well, I thought Elon was the hero. They even had astronaut Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, trading in his Tesla to go get a gas-guzzling SUV. So what about climate change? It just doesn't exist anymore? The overriding principle for about 25% of Americans is Trump is Hitler, he is evil, and anything that anyone does to support Trump and anything anyone does to help Trump in any way must be attacked and destroyed, which is why Elon has ended up the target that he has. It's crazy. Thank you, Elon Musk. I think you're doing incredible work. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about you. JFK files finally also released. I have not had time to dive into the JFK files, but I did post a poll because I was curious for you guys. What do you think happened? And I might have posted this poll before, but obviously with the JFK data out there, I was genuinely curious to see how you guys would analyze this. And so let me scroll down and make sure that I find it before. Do you guys think it was Oswald alone, or do you think that it was more than one shooter in Dallas, Dealey Plaza? 78% of you say more than one shooter. 22% of you say that Oswald acted alone. Final bit of news out there. I definitely want to dive into this, which was congratulations, Riley Gaines. 3 years to the day after you were forced to swim against a man, Leah Thomas, who used to swim for the UPenn men's team and won an NCAA championship 3 years ago today. The decision was made today by the Trump administration to pause $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania because the University of Pennsylvania continues to support the idea of men in women's athletics. And if you are going to violate, in Donald Trump's opinion, federal law, why should you get federal funds? Well, we're getting a win 3 years later. Congratulations to Riley Gaines. Congratulations to the Trump team on sanity. Done here now with OutKick. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Had an awesome time speaking to the Davidson County Republican fundraising group last night. A lot of fun. Appreciate everybody that I met there. And I am now going to record with Riley Gaines a show about a show with Kelly Stewart focused on the NCAA tournament. But congrats again to OutKick's Riley Gaines. Super proud of how brave she has been and everything she has done to fight the good fight over this since that happened 3 years ago today. DBAP. And also, thank you. 550 Clay and Buck affiliate stations now. 550. We have added a massive amount since we started 4 years ago. All 50 states, just a tremendous vote of confidence from you guys. I appreciate all of you. We just added 75 new stations to get us over 400, over 500, and over 550. That is an incredible number. A lot of success. Thanks to everybody on our team who has made that a reality. And thanks to all of you who may be new listeners across the country. I was told that we have added a monster amount of quarter-hour listeners on average, and that's a credit to you guys. So thank you for those 75 new affiliates and over 550 stations. I believe we are now at 555. Next number up, I guess, is 600. We will see Rush at his apex had 700 stations. So we have built back about 80% of the overall stations that he had, which is a testament to you guys and to the continued growth of the overall network. And we're skyrocketing, blowing up in a good way. Love you guys. DBAP unless you need to SBAP. Kelly Stewart and The Fade. We're going to tape that now.